Algebra? Algebra? Oh no! How are we gonna do this? That's okay. I'm just kidding. Hi, I'm Professor Stevens, and you will see me a lot during, um, well, your course. We'll be talking about algebra in a couple of videos. So, first thing I want to kind of do, and generally what you'll see, is there's just a general overview of kind of what to expect from this topic of choice and different things that you can do with that. So, starting off, you kind of saw it may look a little frightened because that's the attitude that most people have when they even hear this word algebra. They say, "This is where you completely lost me. I was good in school when it came to math, but when we got to this, I just I just couldn't do it. Like, why are there these letters here? I thought math was about numbers. Why are there letters?" That's okay. Those are things people say all the time, and I may have had some sarcasm in my voice. That wasn't to offend. That was just to show the realness of what a lot of us feel and how we think about it. Some people may be like, "Oh, I had no problems with that." Well, good. Majority of people do. And if you're not one of them, great. Move on, have lots of fun with this. But if you are, don't be afraid. That's the first thing that you have to do. You have to say, you know what? I got to do this regardless. And once you do that, and you hear what I'm about to say, and listen very carefully because it's very important, you may begin to kind of be confused and kind of question your belief on why you thought it was so hard to begin with. All right, I'll start off with algebra is about. Algebra is about taking one value and seeing how does it compare with another value. That's what algebra is about. And we do this by looking at patterns in them. We do this by coming up with operations that we can do between them. Operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, because we can just keep doing addition and we get this other thing of multiplication. We can keep doing subtraction and get this other thing of division. And how that relates to these things we have in these groups. Wait, what? What did you say? Okay, I'll put it in other terms. Algebra is about being able to add and multiply things. No, it's not. It's just letters and stuff. No. Algebra is about being able to add and multiply things to get values. That's all it's about. What? Wait, you mean it's stuff that I've done since I was a kid? Yes, that's what algebra is. And if we take it at that standing, at that point value, that's exactly what it is. Finding an unknown, you've actually been doing that. When I say what's 2 plus 3, you say 5. Did you know it was 5 to begin with? Yeah, I knew that automatically. No. Did you really know it was just 5? Well, as soon as I said what's 2 plus 3, did you just know it's 5? Or did you have to go back in your brain and say, what's 2 plus 3? I know what that is because I have a number fact in my head. Or I know I can add 2 and go 3 more and I get 5. You had all these different ways to get there, but you know that the unknown value, because you didn't know what it is, just like it wasn't just like, oh, 2 plus 3 is 5. It just is. Like, no. You learn something at some point to get there. You learn how to add, or you remember that. You remember the fact. Either way, you solved for an unknown. You didn't know what it was to begin with, but now you do. You solved for an unknown. You also have these constants, things that stay the same. That 2 and 3 didn't change, did it? Well, sometimes your values can change. Like if I say, what's any number times 0? The answer is always 0, right? Because you know what the other number is? No, it could be anything, right? All right. What number plus 2 gives you 5? Oh, that's 3. Oh, well, how'd you know that was 3? Because you have a number fact that tells you? Because you were like, well, if I add 2 and I can get the 5, then if I subtract the 2, I get the 3. Maybe. Maybe you did that. Maybe you just will continue to say a lot of this throughout this course that I just knew that. I encourage you to think very closely on why you just knew that. There's something going on here that allows you to know that you know that you know what the answer is. And the other times where you see 3x plus 2 equals 5. In other words, 3 times some number plus 2 equals 5. And some of you are like, oh, I know what that is. Some of you may be saying, what? 3 times some number x plus 2 equals 5. My end goal for this is for you to be able to do this problem, be able to find out what is x. And again, like I said, some of you may say, I know exactly what it is. Some of you may not, but that's okay. When we have this, we have two pieces to this. We have 3x plus 2, and we have 5. And we say that they have to equal, they have to be balanced with one another. Each of these is called an expression. When we take two expressions and we equate them, we get an equation. We use operations inside our expressions. Because honestly, this is the expression of 3 times x, and this is the expression of 2. And we can add them together to get a new expression that's in the same group. It still gives us a number of some kind, right? Yeah, that's an operation being used. There's an operation being used between these two expressions, technically. It's 3 and x. I can multiply those, and I get a new expression. And I can add that to 2, and I get a new expression. I can say it's going to be equal to 5. What if I said the product of 3 and some number, and some of you are like, product, it just means multiply. Okay, good. The product of 3 and some number with the sum of that number, or that product and 2, so we're going to add them, is 5. The product of 3 and some number summed with the number 2 is 5. The sum of 2 and the product of 3 and some number is 5. I can say it all kinds of different ways, but really I'm just saying 3 times some number plus 2 equals 5. Right? Yeah. I can just straight up just say in a sentence 3 times some number plus 2 equals 5. Either way, this is all a part of algebra. And it's not something you haven't done before. How many times have you gone to the grocery store and said, I have $20. How many candy bars can I buy? Or will I be able to buy enough? A lot of times you even think ahead, like, I know tax is probably going to be about this amount, right? So let's just say this is what it's going to be. This is how many of these I can buy. You do algebra all the time. You look for unknown. You take numbers and you do operations with them all the time. But because you saw this come in when they have always seemed like two separate subjects, fear gets in. But that's okay. We're here to help you get over that fear. And so, I hope now you're a little encouraged to go in this and say, I'm going to show algebra what's up. Because you will.